Donald Trump gets several pieces of good news. DA Fani Willis is saved by the skin of her teeth. And by that, I mean the judge that voted for her and donated to her campaign. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calls for regime change in Israel, and Joe Biden is stuck like a deer in the headlights. Remember when Democrats blasted Lindsey Graham for saying that Vladimir Putin should be replaced? There's just so much hypocrisy in Washington, D.C. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. So thank you guys so much. When you hit that like button, it tells YouTube, go ahead and share this with other people. So, all right, now the fate of Fani Willis has been determined by Judge Scott McAfee. The judge said he will continue to allow her to prosecute former President Donald Trump as long as she fires Nathan Wade, her lover, or she and her entire team can step down, which we both know is not going to happen. Now, unfortunately, Judge McAfee only found that the two lovebirds engaged in an appearance of impropriety, which means he found no real conflict of interest. Now, I really like how Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene reacted. Here's what she had to say. Judge McAfee worked for Fani Willis and donated to her campaign and has now ruled that Fani can keep prosecuting Trump, but only if she removes her lover, Nathan Wade, off the case. Judge McAfee should have recused himself in the first place because of his obvious bias. Fani Willis lied under oath in his courtroom. Fani and Wade conspired with the White House and January 6th committee. Talk about RICO charges. Fani Willis overpaid her lover, Nathan Wade, as he had zero experience with RICO cases, abuse of taxpayer funds, and the Georgia Ethics Board needs to seriously investigate both Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. I filed multiple complaints. The corruption in Fulton County, Georgia, is one of the worst in the nation. It makes most of us in Georgia sick. So Judge McAfee, who voted for Fani and donated to Fani, sees no corruption in Fani, just the appearance of impropriety. But what do you think? Is this bogus or is this good? I want to hear from you guys. So type bogus if you think it's bogus, and type good if you think it's good. Now, personally, I think this is totally bogus and totally biased. But my guess is that Donald Trump and his legal team are going to say that this is bogus as well. Oh my gosh, you guys are writing bogus, 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 bogus. All right, well, it is. It's totally bogus. Now, did you guys see that up in New York, the Alvin Bragg's case against Donald Trump has just been delayed for several months? Now, they're either going to push this bogus case against Trump right up to the election, or it's going to happen after the election, in which case, if Donald Trump wins, this all goes away. Now, I think what they want is to keep Donald Trump in the final months leading up to the presidential election. I think they want him so busy in courtrooms that he isn't going to be able to campaign. But if I know anything about Donald Trump, he's going to campaign from the courtroom. He'll just go out and have a press conference every chance he has. So every time they try to do jujitsu against him, he just uses their body weight against them to his advantage. Now, earlier this week, the liberal media had a field day when former President Donald Trump appeared to say he was cutting Social Security. Not only was that story blasted all day Monday in the news cycle, it went on for an entire week. While I predicted Trump was simply taken out of context, Donald Trump has confirmed his stance on entitlement, and that did not change. During an interview with Breitbart, Donald Trump stated, "I will never do anything that will jeopardize or hurt Social Security or Medicare. We'll have to do it, make cuts elsewhere, but we're not going to do anything to hurt them." Now, overall, this was just another sad example of Joe Biden trying to score political points by misleading the American public. Now, in the media, we have a double standard, and in the court, that doesn't change. As Biden walks free from having top secret documents illegally, Donald Trump still faces serious charges in his classified documents case because he wasn't mentally absent enough to get away with it. During an interview with Newsmax, Trump explained why Biden should be charged instead of himself. He stated they release Biden. What Biden did, he wasn't protected by the Presidential Records Act because he wasn't president. He took them when he was a senator. He took them very legally, I took them very legally, and I wasn't hiding them. Now, former President Donald Trump's growing support among Latino voters is a promising development that could lead to more inclusive and representative political landscape. Polls show that Trump is winning over a significant portion of Latino voters, with some surveys indicating that he has gained over 40% of their support, a level not seen for a Republican in 20 years. So he's getting more Latino votes. He's getting more Black votes. He's just absolutely dominating. Now, this shift underscores the fact that neither party can rely solely on white voters going forward, highlighting the importance of building diversity and inclusivity into your coalition. As the fight for both the White House and Congress shifts to a more racially diverse state, both parties must actively engage Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people if they want to win the election cycles going forward. Now, growing support for Trump among Latino voters is a testament that the Republican Party's effort to reach out to this community and address their concerns is working. By attracting Hispanic candidates, conducting outreach in Spanish, and addressing issues that resonate with Latino voters and Latino families, it just demonstrates that the Republican Party is trying their best to be more inclusive. Now, this could be a huge opportunity for the Republican Party, and I'll continue to keep you updated on that. Now, speaking of double standards and the government trying to control us, the government is trying to control social media companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google. I mean, they're even trying to ban TikTok right now. 2 years ago, they tried to force an experimental medicine on people. And there is a dark side to the FDA to try to control us in an effort to create profits for their partners, Big Pharma. For example, I take a supplement called NMN, which boosts the NAD plus in your body. NAD plus keeps your 50 trillion cells that make up your body full of energy. The FDA now wants to reclassify this as a drug so that Big Pharma can control it. This move is not based on the efficacy or safety of NMN, but is aimed at controlling the market and taking away the supplement from the American people. Now, every year that you get older, you have less NAD plus in your body. NMN can increase that, and the FDA knows it, which is why Big Pharma is pressuring them into reclassifying it as a drug. NMN is a precursor to NAD plus and has been shown to provide numerous health benefits, such as improved energy, weight management, endurance, strength, and even anti-aging. Now, it isn't just a supplement, it's a game changer. A recent Harvard study, which I'll link below, showed that NMN can help reduce weight, reduce cholesterol, and even benefit your blood pressure as an overweight adult. Now, I personally use NMN from Black Forest. Black Forest is fully stocked with NMN and fighting against the FDA to keep the supplement available. As a daily user, I've experienced a boost in energy and greater health. Now, I urge you to check them out and grab some for yourself before any restrictions come into play. Just check out blackforestsupplements.com/Steve, and I'll link that down below. Now, right now, if you buy 2 bottles, you get one for free, but that offer is only available for the next 48 hours. Again, I'll leave a link down below in the description and also in the pinned comment. Now, Joe Biden has just sanctioned Israel, and this is a huge deal for what is being called extreme settler violence. While the sanctions seem to be more symbolic than harmful, you'll never guess what Biden did next. He issued a sanction waiver to Iran. Up until this point, we had 10 billion in frozen funds for Iran, which can now be withdrawn because of Joe Biden. Needless to say, Republicans are angry and have questioned Biden's reasoning and mental capacity. Now, I've seen some commentary suggesting that Biden released these funds to keep Iran from escalating war, but I want to hear from you. We have a country that hates us. Their constitution is to kill Israel and to kill the United States of America, and he just allowed them access to $10 billion. What do you think is going to happen? I definitely want to hear from you guys. Please let me know in the comments. Now, unfortunately, Joe Biden isn't the only one turning his back on Israel. In the Senate, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has just called for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to be removed from office. During remarks given on the Senate floor, Chuck Schumer called for a new election to take place in Israel because Netanyahu has lost his way and has become a far-right extremist. So not only does Chuck Schumer hate people on the right, but he also hates Netanyahu. And so he's calling for a regime change. A regime change. You're not supposed to do this as an elected official. What's worse is that President Biden was briefed on the speech before it happened and gave approval for Chuck Schumer to say this out loud, probably because he would rather have Chuck Schumer say this than have the courage to say it himself. Now, he made a good speech, and I think he expressed some serious concerns that are shared by many Americans, where you want Israel to be able to defend itself, but you also are getting sick and tired of hearing about dead Palestinians. But to call for regime change, that's really bold, and governments are not supposed to do this to each other. Now, on the other side of the aisle, House Speaker Mike Johnson responded to Chuck Schumer by arguing that it was highly inappropriate for an American leader to attempt to influence Israeli politics. It's almost like America is interfering in their elections. Isn't this what we say Vladimir Putin does? Now, he stated, we need to be standing with Israel. We need to give our friends and allies our full support. But what you're seeing from the White House and clearly from Democrat senators is really exactly the opposite. While most Republicans are focused on Israel, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has just pushed House Speaker Mike Johnson to help Ukraine again. While addressing the House, McConnell stated, the chilling reality here is abundantly clear. Without critical weapons, has not helped manage Putin's escalation. It has only emboldened him. So he wants more taxpayer money to go to Ukraine to kill Putin, and also back to his corporate donors here in the United States. The military-industrial complex is addicted to free taxpayer money. Now, typically, this would be the part of the show where I say Mike Johnson will not budge unless Democrats promise to protect the Texas, Arizona, California, Florida, Louisiana border. But that's not happening. Breitbart News has reported that Mike Johnson is now considering a loan program where Ukraine would be expected to pay American taxpayers back. Just to note, it is currently unknown if this loan program will have border security measures attached, but I have a feeling it won't. President Joe Biden doesn't seem to be in any kind of rush to fix the border, so one person has to be the bigger man here. While we don't know the exact details yet, Mike Johnson stated this bill will look substantially different than the $95 billion foreign aid package the Senate passed last month. I mean, maybe there will be something for the border, but I just kind of doubt it at this point. We need a new president. As Mike Johnson fights to get our southwestern borders secured, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has his eyes on southern Florida. For those unaware, there are currently massive problems in Haiti stemming from political instability. The place is absolutely overrun with gang members, and what's crazy is they're literally eating people. I'm not being hyperbolic. They're being called the Cannibal Gang. Now, according to rumors, there's been talk of Haitian migrants heading to Florida. They're releasing them from jails. They're telling these gangs, get into America right now. And they're heading for the coast of Florida. Now, Ron DeSantis claimed that he and his men are prepared, stating, for quite some time, the state of Florida has been dedicating significant resources to combat illegal vessels coming to Florida from countries such as Haiti. Now, this is a big developing story. It's really ugly on the internet. So I'm not going to post any images, but it's really, really bad down there. With Finland now in NATO, Russian President Vladimir Putin has instructed for systems of destruction to be placed along the border. I mean, you guys, this wasn't there before, but now that they're part of NATO, Putin's like, oh my gosh, I have to put missiles in order to attack these guys if they attack us. Now, Putin bashed NATO for this decision, claiming it does nothing to further their national interest. He stated, we didn't even have troops. We removed all the troops from there, from the Russian-Finnish border. However, it's up to them to decide. That's what they decided, but we didn't have troops there. Now we will. Now, have you been seeing this weird story about Boeing Airlines and their airplanes? Their planes are having all kinds of issues. Wheels falling off, doors blowing off, engines giving out, computer systems going down, oxygen masks dropping out of nowhere. Their planes are having issues, specifically the 737 MAX. Now, a whistleblower came forward and was about to expose all of the dirt on Boeing when suddenly he decided to unalive himself. Super suspicious. However, a new revelation has just been made public regarding John Barnett, the Boeing whistleblower who reportedly gave himself a self-inflicted gunshot wound. After exposing serious safety concerns regarding production, he expressed to his family that if something happened to him, it's not suicide. Barnett's attorneys agreed with this thought process and released a statement reading, he was in very good spirits and really looking forward to putting this phase of his life behind him and moving on. We didn't see any indication that he would take his own life. No one can believe it. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Let me know, is this suspicious to you? A very happy man suddenly unalives himself right before a multi-billion-dollar government contract company is about to be exposed for cutting corners, and all the details laid out about what they've been doing and all of the problems they're having. I mean, to me, this is super, super suspicious. All right, speaking of suspicious, have you guys seen that the Princess of England is missing? Princess Kate Middleton has not been seen publicly since Christmas. No one has seen her, and the royal family refuses to provide proof that she's alive. She or someone then put out a highly photoshopped photo of her and the kids for England's Mother's Day. But now, in the last 24 hours, her private wait staff have come forward saying they haven't seen the children either. So where the heck is Princess Kate Middleton? What has the royal family done? Is there a cover-up of her dying? Did something go wrong with a surgery she supposedly had? Is Prince William having an affair like the rumors from 4 or 5 years ago? Something isn't right, and I want to know from you guys what you think of this. Seriously, I want to hear from you guys. This is absolutely crazy. All right, now this is my update for today. I want to remind you guys that you are amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that like button because it helps me by telling YouTube, share this with other people. Hey, I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.